we have $800,000 in pipeline value right now based on 30 different calls that we've had with Perfect ICP. Of those, 5 we decided to send contracts to, and those are in different stages of the process and all of those came through LinkedIn.
Awesome, sweet. How many calls did you book and how many followers are you at?
Yeah, so we've booked probably 50 total calls, and 30 of those have been really perfect for our ICP. The other 20 have just been CEOs or leaders in the space that I was really excited to talk to and have been fun. But 30 of them are the clients that we've been looking for. Before working with Aman, we were adding about 100 followers a month, just connections, connecting to people. And then since then, the last 4 months, we've added 3,500 followers. And that continues to grow. And it looks like we'll hit probably 5,000 by the end of the year.
Hey, Curtis, welcome to the case study interview. Tell me a little bit, and the people watching, about your business, your ICP, and what specifically you guys do better than everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So I run a digital marketing agency where we do Facebook, Google, TikTok ads for eCom clients and direct-to-consumer clients. And our goal is really to drive intense value and grow the companies as quick as possible. So because of that, we're really picky about who we work with, because we want to work with clients that are perfect for us, that have really high opportunity and can scale quickly. And what that means is that we have to talk to a lot of companies to find those ideal clients that can grow 5x in a year. That's where LinkedIn has been really handy. Not only has the quality of the leads in the last 6 months been much higher, but it's also been a much higher volume. So we've been able to be more picky, say no to some clients that in the past we'd say yes to, even though we know they wouldn't have grown as fast, and instead focus on helping clients that we're a perfect match for and that we know can grow, and passing on the rest of those.
Awesome. So I think people should recognize that you are looking for like the top 10%, maybe like the top 5% of ecom brands. Like, tell me a little bit about what that ICP looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So the ideal client for us is a brand that's spending somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000 a month on Facebook and Google. They're a direct-to-consumer ecom brand, and they're looking to scale to $1 million to $2 million a month in ad spend profitably. And so what that means is that in order to do that, they have to have a great product, a good team, and so a product and something that they're selling that people really resonate with. So in the past, we may have worked with drop shipping companies that have no differentiation. We don't do that anymore. And we really want to work with excellent products and excellent brands and scale them as quickly as possible. And that's really what we're looking for.
Awesome. And then when we started together, like, you weren't in a bad position. Like, you were in a relatively good position when we started together. But like, why did you want to crack LinkedIn or do this channel? Like, what was happening inside the business that made you think, okay, I need to have something working separately to whatever was working before?
Yeah, so before the company was going well, but we were 100% referral. Every single client we'd had come through some kind of referral, which is obviously great because it means that our current clients are happy. But what it also means is that we had a lot of volatility in when we were getting leads and who we were accepting. And so we never knew when a new client was going to come in, and it might be a month or two between any calls. And so because of that, we often took on clients that we saw some potential in, but today with the amount of calls and connections that we have, we wouldn't take them just because they weren't quite perfect for us, but we didn't know when the next one would come in. The other big problem is that it made scaling or hiring support really hard, because if you don't know that you can add 1 or 2 more clients to take up space, then it's hard to hire that next person as a small company, knowing that you won't be able to give them a full set of tasks without hiring that next one. Now, which is exactly what we wanted, we have the reliability to know that whenever we want to take on a new client, we'll be able to do that within a few weeks or maybe a month, because of the pipeline that's going on, which means we can hire more reliably, we can be lower stress about any client that we do talk to, and it makes the overall comfort around our business much higher.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. There were a lot of things we did together from like the start to finish. Like, we did more than LinkedIn. Tell the people listening, like, what were the things that I had diagnosed at the beginning, and then what did we do before we even touched LinkedIn? Because there were a bunch of things that we had to work on first.
There's probably 2 categories. One is like driving awareness, and then the other one was sales. And I think in the awareness category, it was obviously LinkedIn. We also did LinkedIn ads. We worked on the website to make sure that converts better. And then I think on the sales side, we talk through what the sales deck should look like, how we communicate with buyers, what the follow-up process will look like, how often we're connecting with people, not just like connecting on LinkedIn, but also sending the messages, following up, and then also figuring out what the positioning was going to be. So originally when I was posting, it was pretty generically about business or e-commerce, and we tested a bunch of things to figure out exactly what stands out about our current setup restructured the profile, the website, all of that to be around that, and then posted on that specifically to reach a very specific audience. And that's worked really well.
Awesome. So I see that quite a lot with like people that have referral based businesses. Like they don't need to work out how to position yourself for cold traffic because the person's going to buy from you regardless.
Yeah.
And so we had to work out the positioning piece, what to say to someone that has never seen us before so that we actually stand out in their mind. We look safe, we look different, we look specific. There was some bits we did around data. So I remember like we had to like, there was no like TAM list of your audience, and we had to like bring in Rob to help out there as well, which is interesting. And now from our data that we can see, we have a 66% penetration into your account list. So what that means is 66% of the companies that would ever work with you know or have seen you on LinkedIn already, which is like very special.
Yeah.
So now it's just a question of waiting for them to come in market to buy from you.
I feel like the thing that stood out to me most about our strategy before working with you versus after was that before it was a very general targeting of the website was very general, my profile was general, and my posts were general. And because I was trying to reach kind of anyone and everyone, non-specifically, I was reaching nobody. And I think what we did instead is we said, okay, what's the list of 1,000 to 2,000 companies that are my perfect ICP? How do we position us as a very niche focus across our focus, and then reach out to them specifically, write posts to them specifically, put the website to them specifically. And because of that, now we're booking calls with those exact people that we want to. I never wanted to book calls with just general people in business. I always wanted that, but it felt like I needed to go wide to get the awareness. And instead, I think what you showed was that we were able to go specific and really figure out how to reach them effectively. So it saves me time on calls, but also has been way more effective.
Awesome. Sounds cool. And then describe your general experience inside LinkedIn Client Engine. Like, what was your general experience from start to finish in terms of content, support, calls, that sort of stuff?
So I think the process was really great because the first step was understanding what's going on, because I didn't know what I should be posting. Like I tried some posting, but I just hadn't had any success. So there's nothing to build on. So I think the first step was, what do we need to change to make this work? And then each step of the way, I think what was really helpful was you set a clear, here's the next step. And instead of having 10 things that I could work on from 10 different random LinkedIn posts and try to piece them together, you were able to say like, no, we don't need to do comment engagement right now. We need to do your profile improvement. And then your profile's good. We don't need to change anything there. Now we need to figure out how to get more impressions. Okay, now we have impressions. How do we get those people to convert? And each time you set a very clear step of what to do next. Once we executed on it, it worked, and we were able to just keep expanding from there. So, but my experience with LCE is been one of very clear steps, and that each step has been a progress in the right direction. And I think even the last few steps I've been surprised. Like 2 months ago, I was doing a projection. I thought, okay, we can hit 5,000 followers by the end of 2027. And then like a month later, I'm like, okay, we're almost at 5,000. And I feel like even when I thought like, all right, we've hit my goal. Now it's like we're now surpassing those goals. And it's because you keep having clear steps of like, how do we step into the next function and keep growing it? And it's been easy because it's so segmented, but it's worked really well.
Awesome, sweet. I think the other interesting thing is when we first spoke, we were discussing a done for you solution. And I said, Curtis, you're not ready for done for you because, and I say this to a lot of people on sales calls, that like, if you're watching this video and then you have had me say to you, I'm not going to do a done for you agency. This is why, because there's a bunch of positioning work and things that we need to do in advance. And I remember saying to you, like, you don't have it, you've never marketed cold. So
Yeah.
how are you supposed to hand this off to us when nothing works? So you're gonna pay us a lot of money to test on your behalf, which is very painful. But that meant that you had to do a lot more work at the beginning. So like, how was like that process of you like learning what you had to stand for and what to position about? Because you actually have learned loads about content in this process, I think.
Yeah, no, I think you made the right call because there's so many pieces that I wouldn't have even known to share with you until I was in the process, because I'd never thought about it. I'd never thought about what actually would resonate with my audience. What are the pieces that were interesting? Because they're all up in my mind, but to me, I was like, this is old hat. This is just what everyone does. And I think what you helped me realize was there's some really interesting elements of how we work that feel obvious to me, but really resonate with our audience and connects to them. And so by doing the working with me to write the posts, I think we were able to figure out even more specifically how to write them and to grow in that direction. And then obviously now we're doing the done for you. As we've scaled, I want to focus more on growing the business and working with clients and less on writing the posts. And so the first post went out yesterday, and it's already at 10,000 impressions. It's
Yeah.
smashing it.
Yeah.
So super fun start there. Obviously, I didn't expect that from the first post, and so I think that's worked well to then be able to transfer and now take a small step back now that we've established that.
Yeah, and it's awesome because you're able now to give us feedback on posts, but you're giving me feedback on like, oh, I wouldn't have written it that way, and we know what you're writing was good. So it's like it's coming backwards now, if that makes sense, where you have taste of the algorithm and your audience, and now you're able to actually give me feedback on our posts and our writers on posts. Now that you've done it yourself, and you know how the algorithm responds to you when you do it, and then we can test things a little bit by little bit without breaking too much at the same time.
Yeah, it feels like you gave me the understanding that I need to then manage the process well.
Yeah.
But then now you're giving me the support to not have to be in the weeds of it, so we can scale without me being a bottleneck.
Amazing, cool. Anything you would say to anyone watching this video thinking, I'm on the edge, I want to do this, I don't want to do this? What would you say to them? What would you say to your previous self?
100% do it. I think that the question I would ask is, if you have a specific audience that you're trying to reach and they're in the business world, and especially if you're selling something that is more than like $1,000, like this is a premium product, I think what I've found is LinkedIn is so much more valuable than the calls you get on, because I get on these calls and people already are excited to meet me because they see my post and they're like, oh, you talked about this and this and this, and these were my problems, and I read more of your posts and I really like this. Like, they already see me as an expert in the space because they saw something and then they went through more posts, or they liked one post and they got the next one, and so the calls go better. They're more fun. They're lower kind of pressure because I'm not having to sell all the things we do. They already know it. So if you sell to businesses and the process is more than a 30-minute sales call, building that credibility on LinkedIn is a lot more than just the calls you're getting. It's the quality of the people that are on the call and the quality of the conversations that are on the calls.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's it. Peace. Bye-bye.